Hey everyone, Amy and Julia here with Women, Worth, and Weddings, and we are excited to hang out with you for a little while today. So we're going to talk about our signature cocktail first that was shared with us by Carolina Crafts on Taps.
Yep.
So what are we drinking today, Julia?
So they recommended a Cheerwine Old Fashioned because we're in the Carolinas, so Cheerwine's a classic for the area. So
Hey,
I'm excited to try this. Cheers.
it's not bad.
This tastes like a soda.
Yeah, but I'm not a big fan of like dark liquor.
Well, to me, it just tastes like soda. How much is in here? Did you follow the recipe?
I follow the recipe.
It's probably like one of those. Did you do the orange like bitter
Yeah.
in there? I've never had that before. It's good.
It's good.
Mhm.
It's a good one. Good job, guys.
Good. It's kind of like how a lot of people do Jack and Coke.
Yeah, so it's got 2 ounces of bullet bourbon, 1 ounce of triple sec, 3 dashes of orange bitters, and a cup of Cheerwine.
Yeah. And we were supposed to garnish it with a cherry and orange, but
I didn't do that. I didn't see that part.
hey, still, it tastes good.
Yeah.
I like it. Okay, so today we're going to talk about entrepreneurship, kind of like do's and don'ts, getting into entrepreneurship, and just because it's really hard to get into entrepreneurship, start your own company, all those things,
A lot of self-doubt, a lot of
Yeah, it's hard.
stress.
Yeah.
So we made a list of just from our experiences of starting our own business and the pitfalls and the kind of hiccups that we've gone through, just a list of things that we wish someone would have shared with us.
Yeah, we have a list that's like personalized based off of what we've learned wedding planning wise. And then we have it's kind of like a more vague version just for anyone listening that is just trying to get into it in a general way.
Yeah.
Either that be photography, opening up a shop, mortar and pestle.
Yeah, or just
Did I
like
say that right?
What did you say? Brick and mortar? Is that? Oh my god. Okay, so something that you guys might not know about Joya is that she does not know her words.
You don't either. I get it from you, but we never correct each other. We just move on from it unless one of us is like, "Did I say that right?" I don't want to repeat it. It's a mortar and pestle. I know what that is. You grind up the herb.
Oh, okay.
We don't say anything right. Basically, words are hard.
Words are hard.
It's really hard, and I'm gonna continue to drink this Cheerwine Old Fashioned.
Okay, so I guess like the first thing for me is for entrepreneurship was that, I found something that I felt passionate about.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was like, I feel good about this. Like because a lot of times I feel like people that want to start a business, they don't know really what they want to start yet. So find something that you feel like you would be excited to do, right?
Yeah. And it's hard because going through high school, they just want you to go to college.
Yeah.
Like, they don't even care if you go to college without knowing what you want to do yet. It's kind of like, you'll figure it out. But then you're like racking out the bills, like college loans and everything as you're trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
For a degree that now that I'm the age where everyone from when I graduated, it's already graduated, at least their like bachelor degrees and everything like that. Now they're struggling to like actually use them. And it's kind of like, I want to use my degree. I really want to, but I don't even know if I even like this.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So we are going to go through our list. So Joy, you start the list and we will talk about each.
okay, so we're going to do with our personal one first.
Yeah.
Okay, so things that we've learned that's been where we used to just give, and we kind of like learned to, do our own thing. Time management's huge.
Yeah, time management is really big. And I'll be honest, I'm still struggling with time management because I am of everything and I don't leave enough space for myself and my family. Mm-hmm. And so I end up working 70-hour weeks and then I'm like depleted. So
it's hard because there's a fine line between being in growth mode and giving your business your all to be able to make it be successful and then just burning yourself out.
Yeah. Because burnout is like a real...
Yeah. Because you can't give 100% to everything. So you may be trying to start a company and you're trying to give that your all, but then you also have a family and you have friends and you have bills and you have dogs. And it's like you can't give 100% to everything in your life when you're trying to.
And you're gonna be off balance when you first start a business, because you're going to have to give more to the business than other areas of your life. You can't go into it being like, I'm gonna, focus on, it only half the time, and I'm gonna really have life balance, because life balance goes out the window when you're trying to start a business. You really have to put a lot of effort into your business. But there comes a time in that business when it does have legs and it is successful, that you have to then say, okay, now I need to manage myself.
Yeah.
I need to manage my own time, and I need to create kind of like a schedule for myself. And so I think that's where I'm at right now with our business, is I'm trying to figure out my boundaries.
Yeah. And when you're first starting off and, say you're still working a 9 to 5 and trying to start your own company on the side, time management may come into play when you might just be like, I don't even have time to work on that this week. But you need to, I tell my husband, because he's trying to start a company right now, just tell me one thing at the end of the day that you did for yourself, for your company. Like, I don't care how minor it is. Maybe just like a thought process of what you want to do next. Like, put at least something into it each day. Like, that's a part of, it's just like working out. You may say, I don't have time to work out. I'm too busy for that. But there's always time. It's just making time.
Yeah, you have to make fun. And you will make time for what's important to you. I know that for a fact. It's just human that we make time for what's important. So, but I mean, you also have to make time. You have to make yourself a priority.
Yeah.
And really, carve out time to take care of yourself.
And then also one thing that we, still struggle with, because we are givers and we're in an industry that is a lot of giving, boundaries.
Yeah, boundaries are, I am not good at this. I'm not good at boundaries, because I will be like, you can have my shirt, and I will give you a discount.
And it's hard to teach our team what we put our foot down with, because it's very random. Like, it's like sometimes we're like, nope, not in our contract, we do not cover that. Sometimes it's like, yeah, like, I'll make your kid mac and cheese inside real quick during this wedding. Yeah. Someone else on my team can make sure the speeches are going okay. So,
I think, yeah. But you gotta know what's good or what's your personal boundaries, because if you keep doing things that make you feel ick after you do them, or make you feel like you're having an argument in your head because you're like, I don't want to do this, but I'm doing it, and you're mad at that person because you're doing it, then it's going to cause havoc in your life.
Yeah, definitely. It depletes you faster if you're constantly giving too much of yourself. Like, that's when a good contract comes into play, and you can't really sometimes, I don't think it's even possible to have like the best contract possible just starting off. You learn things and you add. Yeah,
for sure. 100%. So it's really just knowing, it's really like a self-awareness of knowing what's a yes I say. If it's not a hell yes, then it's a hell no. If you don't feel like, yeah, absolutely. Because it's in our industry, it is very people related. So we may have a couple that ask us to do something, and we're like, well, of course we'll do that for you. Yeah. And then we may have someone that asks us to do it. We're like, no, we don't do that. Yeah. So it just depends on the situation.
And we usually, at least I do, I know you do, but like at least I do for decor, I usually throw in some things for free, but sometimes it's just not like, it's not what.
Here's the problem.
It's not a habit I don't want to make. But sometimes randomly, depending on the situation, I'll be like, I can do that. That's fine. Yeah.
The problem with doing things for free is that then it's not, anytime there is, and this is just science, anytime that there is money attached to a task, then the task is viewed to be more like, it's like respected. And so if you are constantly doing things for free in your business, then people expect more from you and won't give you as much, because they're like, it's not a conscious thing, it's a subconscious thing, but it's definitely there. So you have to not get caught up in you're going to have to do a lot for free in the beginning.
Yeah. In the beginning, especially in our industry, yes. Because you got to get your name out there, you got to get a portfolio. But we are still learning how to have boundaries. Like, if you went to someone that's been in the game for 10 years versus like us for 4 years, it's like we still do things that they'd be like, oh,
why are you doing that?
Why are you doing that?
Yeah.
but it's just because it's constantly a learning thing. And with any job, like any company that you're starting, you're learning what's norm. You're learning like, okay, I just talked to someone has this business. They've been doing it for 5 years, and I'm just trying to do the same thing. They say that I shouldn't be doing this. They say like, this and that.
Yeah. So really, I think in the beginning, just putting on paper exactly what you're wanting. What is it that you're wanting from being an entrepreneur or a business owner, other than like, don't go into like saying I want to be an entrepreneur because I want time freedom, because that's not going to happen.
No. At least not at first. You're not going to have your money working for you.
No.
For the first couple years.
I hear it all the time, and people are like, I want to own my own business because I want,
I don't want people to tell me what to do anymore. I want to work for myself.
I have people telling me what to do every single day, and I own this company. They're like,
our phones are constantly blowing up.
Yeah.
We wake up, if we took one day off, God forbid we take a day off, we will look at our stuff the next day with like 30 messages.
Yeah. That's like the minimum. It is insanity. So I think that, knowing when you're going into starting your own business that you're going to be so to recap, you're going to be very unbalanced. You're going to have to put a lot more effort into growing your business. You will have to do things for free. You're going to have to give a lot, but you also have to figure out what is like a yes and what is a no. And it's not black and white. It is a gray area for sure.
Definitely. And then there's just such a huge importance that we've learned in contracts versus relying on verbal promises.
Yeah.
We always fall back on our contracts. If things go south, whatever, if we need to just be like, hey, if we don't do this, like you're expecting this from us, but if you go back to the contract you originally read, like we do not do this. Or if you go back to the contract, we answer within 72 hours. Usually we answer before then, but our contracts allows us some grace. Because sometimes we have 3 weddings a weekend and we were traveling. So I cannot get back to you on a Saturday during a wedding.
Yeah.
So please don't be mad at me. If you look back at the contract, it says, this is what.
Exactly. And you have to, so putting either hire a lawyer to develop your contracts for you. Or if you're just starting out, you may not be able to afford that. So
there's templates, and then you just add to that template.
Yeah. Get a really good CRM, like a behind the scenes, like running. Like for us, we have a company that we use called Honeybook. And so in Honeybook, there is contracts, there's templates, you can, all
questionnaires,
there's all the things that you can kind of put together, and then you just customize those things. And so for us, our contracts have been customized over time. So when something happens and we're like, oh yeah, that we don't want that to happen again.
Yeah, and we were still changing our contracts. We recently just did after a wedding that was really difficult. So, but Honeybook is something that's used by a lot of wedding vendors. I know I've seen DJs use it, photographers, planners, of course, rental companies, lighting, like you name it.
Yeah. Honeybook's a great company to look at. And they, they have really great contracts in there that you can play around with and customize to make your own. So
they do. It takes like a lot of time off your plate or whatever. Yeah. I'm not good with words today.
You're not. You need to take a little baby nap.
I know. Okay. And then hiring help. So not just hiring help in business, but in your personal life. But we'll start with business. It's really hard when it's time for you to hire that first person.
I heard one time, I was at an event, and a speaker said that growth happens in the bottleneck. So if you look at your business as like a wine bottle, you start out and then it gets like really tight and you're like, oh my gosh, there's a lot of growing pains. You're trying to squeeze things through this like bottleneck of, your business where you're really trying to figure things out. And the breakthrough is at the bottom, right? There's a lot more room to like breathe and whatever. But it's in that like small moment, and it's short. If you look at a wine bottle, the bottleneck is very small. But if you can just get through that, and that growth right there in that moment is what's going to get you to the breakthrough. But in that bottleneck is when you need to ask for help. You need to, look at your company and say, okay, am I ready to hire, someone to help me? Whether that be an assistant, whether that be an accountant, whether that be, another team member, a business partner. So these type of things, because it takes people to get you to where you want to be. I know if I was doing this company do Julia events by myself, I would not be where we are right now. And we do weddings all over the place. And, we do a ton of weddings every single year. But, Julia and I are business partners. And then we have an amazing team of girls that are doing weddings and hustling. We have a personal assistant that, gosh, I don't know what I would do without her. I mean, she really
because there's just like some time consuming things that in any job, like you can be like, okay, I can pass this to my assistant.
Yeah.
And they can deal with this. It's something super easy, but it's time consuming, like stuff like that. Like you really can't have that big boom without help typically.
No, I mean, it's really, really difficult to do it. And you need someone to bounce ideas off of. So if you're like, okay, I'm not in a place in my company where I can hire someone, then join a mastermind. Like join a group of people where you can talk out ideas and you can say, masterminds are great for that, where you can say, okay, this is what I'm dealing with. This is what I'm successful at. This is what I'm kind of struggling with. And you can bounce ideas off of each other. And that's also where you find great partnerships where you're in a mastermind and you're like, I'm really struggling with keeping up with all these receipts and like accounting and stuff. And there's an accountant in your mastermind that's like, hey, let's partner up. Let's, make this happen for you. So,
and there's groups in your area. Like I know we have some in Charlotte, and it doesn't have to be just wedding industry based. It can just be entrepreneurship in general. There's groups. You just got to look at them on Facebook.
Yeah. I mean, literally just Google masterminds for entrepreneurs and you'll have them.
And honestly, it's okay to reach out to someone. So if you are starting a company and you have someone that you really admire that's in the same like business, and you're like, I love what they do, it's okay to like give them a call and see if like they'll help you out any bit, or like see if you can pick their brain.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay. Like there's so many of us that one person can't do it all, can't have all the business, you know?
You have to kind of get rid of that mentality that people are going to take something away from you.
Like everything's a competition.
Like everything's a competition. Now, granted, there are people in the industry that do feel that way, but I feel like there's a lot more people in the industry that are like, hey, yeah, absolutely, I'm willing to help. I mean, I know for me, give a shout out to another planning company, the Hospitality Butler, amazing Matt, like helped me in the beginning. He would be like, no, stop doing that. Or I'd ask him questions and he would really help me. And he's a direct competitor with us, but he has the same mindset as we do, that we are like, there's enough for everybody. You have an abundance mentality and not like, if you hold on to what you have so tightly, not only is it not gonna, you may not lose it, but you also can't open your hand up to receive anything either.
Yeah,
so
you're blocking the flow of money and
absolutely.
everything. And also with our industry, it's so great to be like, I am actually booked that day, or like my team already has 3 weddings that day, but check out this person because they're amazing and they're in the area
and
as
I
well.
trust them with you and they're great.
Because you also don't want to send them to someone that you don't trust. So to be able to have like someone in the industry that you trust and respect is really great.
Yeah. So, it's about putting yourself out there, and the vulnerability of owning your own business is insane because you are creating money.
Yeah. And it's hard not to feel isolated.
Yeah.
Like you're like on this journey by yourself.
Yeah. So if you are wanting to start a business on your own, I mean, honestly, now looking back, I would never do a business without a business partner, just because it's, I feel like when I'm lacking, Julia's like, I got it. I'll pick up the slack or whatever. Or when I need a minute to just like, okay, we've been running this race, I need a minute to catch my breath, then she's there to say, okay, well, what can I do? Like, let's make it happen. So I feel like, for me personally, that's my personality. I feel like I'd work better with others. But there's like, you can do like personality quizzes, like the 16 personality types is a great one to do to see like what kind of personality you have, if you work great with others and those type of things. I mean, for me, it just works. It works really well.
And then kind of going into our list that's a little bit more general, not like wedding related, surrounding yourself with like-minded people is huge. Like if you are surrounded by 9-to-5 workers, whatever, like family, friends, it's really hard for them to understand what you're trying to do. And it also can be really hard for them to support you as much as it sucks.
Yeah.
So being able to have some people in your life that are like in the same journey as you, it really like, it does do a huge difference.
Oh, for real. I mean, it's, cliche. They say that you are like the 5 people that you hang around the most. So if you're only hanging out with people that aren't, trying to grow their selves, personally, and then also do something, different, then you are like the people that you hang out with. So surround yourself with people that are wanting more, that want to, they don't have to be in the same industry as you but they, and they don't necessarily even have to be entrepreneurs. They can be someone that is wanting to climb the corporate ladder or,
someone that's got that drive.
Yeah. Someone that's driven, that's wanting to step outside of the comfort zone, the norm, the square box, and, attach yourself to those people and you will definitely, see growth in your company.
Yeah. For example, my best friend is a dancer, which is completely different in the wedding industry, obviously. But her schedule is just like mine. Like, we're like, I'll see you in 2 weeks. Love you. But it's like, if you have a friend that's used to the normal 9 to 5, they may get like pissed. Like, what do you mean you don't have enough time for me? But when you have a friend that's like an entrepreneur, like she is, it's kind of like you have that understanding. You have that respect. It's like, I know we're both busy. Like, we're both going through our busy season right now. Like, it's okay. We'll come back together.
Yeah.
When we can.
Yeah, 100%. So that's good. So surround yourself with like-minded visionaries for sure.
Yeah, and don't get beat down. When you're starting out, it may seem impossible. Like, you have this like huge road in front of you that it's going to take a little bit, but don't get discouraged. Like, stay persistent.
And know that discouragement's going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, it is not easy, and you feel like you're thinking about your business 24 hours a day. Like, what am I doing? Am I doing things right? Am I making the right decisions? Am I going to fail? Am I a fraud? Am I just like pretending? So you're going to have all these feelings in the beginning.
Yeah, definitely. And then also having a strong work ethic is huge. Like, you can't go into being an entrepreneurship like without.
I don't think you can fake having work ethic though.
No,
like, you either have it or you don't.
Yeah.
Well, and not everybody's cut out to be a business owner. I mean, honestly.
It's hard, and it's comfortable to be a 9 to 5 where you have insurance through your company and everything is already planned out for you and you don't have to. Like, it's a huge difference to have your own schedule. Like, I'm not clocking in. If I don't work, I don't have to work, but my company's not going to grow if I don't work.
Yeah, it is one of the biggest, I think, struggles that a lot of people have is creating that schedule for yourself. Because you want to rebel and be like, well, I own my own business. I don't have to I can do whatever I want. And I mean, you really can't. You have to like have a schedule and be diligent in like your workflow, or you're basically, your calendar is going to control you and you're not going to control your business.
Yeah, definitely. And then we kind of already touched base, like, which is on like our general list, is getting burnt out and then growing your team when it's time, good CRM to manage your workflow, good contracts, so huge. Get things in wording. It is not what you called a spit
and
handshake world anymore. That's what you said.
That's what I said. Well, you know how like you see on TV where they spit in their hands?
Yeah.
That's not.
And that goes with anything, even like small things. Like, I do like, okay, like this venue, they say in their contract we can only use this rental company, but they're giving me permission to use a different rental company. I want that in email wording.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not just gonna call you and just be like, okay, that's it. They said. I want an email proof.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. You definitely have to cover your back. For sure. And when you have those conversations with people, I hate getting I hate emails that start out with per our conversation, but you do have to have those because you need a trail to kind of track.
Yeah, definitely. And then a good accountant. Here's my dog, Harley. Good accountant is huge. And that's a really hard thing to find when you're an entrepreneur.
Yeah, for some reason, I mean, if you know an accountant that is really great with entrepreneurs, hit me up, put a comment, because it's really, really difficult to...
Both of our dogs have joined.
Hi. It's really, really difficult to find someone that understands like entrepreneurship and that it's not normal, and that I don't think that I know an entrepreneur that's really great at keeping track of like all the things.
Yeah. No, definitely not. So if I was trying to start my own company, let's say I was trying to start a coffee shop. And I'm like, I don't even know where to begin. Like, what would your advice be? Like, what would you think that I need to? Coffee shop may not be the best example, but if I was just trying to start a company.
We could do a coffee shop. I would say first thing is to do market research. Figure out like the area that you want to do the coffee shop in, and figure out if that area is actually a viable place to put a coffee shop. Do they have other coffee shops there? Like what kind of foot traffic is there? What kind of traffic do they get there? So do research and Google like viable like places to in your area to start up a brick and mortar like location. Of course, you need to figure out exactly like what it's going to take to open a coffee shop. It's so much more than just like rent for the location. It's your product. It's, you got to find a supplier, and you have to find a good supplier and one that, what kind of beans are you want? There's like so much that goes into before you put that key in the door and open the door. There's so much behind the scenes. So you have to do your homework, and that's where a lot of people fall off because they think, oh, I just want to open a coffee shop, and I'm just going to rent this place, and I'm going to get beans, and and everybody's going to come. And that's just really not how it works. And so a lot of people say, okay, this isn't for me, when they realize, oh, I have to research what type of beans I want to serve. And like the person that's going to provide these for me, like I have to go and like meet with this person. I have to do contracts with them as well. And so that would be like my advice, is just start your research. Start your research on where you want it. Is it a great place to have a coffee shop? Where you're going to get your, supplies from? And then once you have that, then you create a business plan on, because where is the money going to come from to start this business? Because I would say if you have a brick and mortar location, to have at least 6 months of bills paid for prior to. Yeah.
And I always say, think of your ideal client. We've learned this before, like put down their characteristics. Like, who are they? Like, what's your ideal client?
Their avatar.
Yeah. Manifest that person.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that even in any business, I think for us, we kind of came into wedding planning a little differently because it isn't a brick and mortar location. You can do everything from home, which is great, but we had experience because we did weddings prior to having our own business. So that was, a little different. And if you want to have a coffee shop, go and volunteer at a coffee shop. See what it takes to, behind the scenes type of things. And we tell people all the time that are like, oh, I want to be a wedding planner. I feel like everybody wants to be a wedding planner.
Because they think of like the movies.
Yeah.
Like the glamorous, like in heels and everything.
Yeah, with their little earpiece. And that's not it.
We're hot, sweaty, disgusting looking.
Barely
not
have
frantic, but
we
where you feel
barely
disgusting.
Have makeup on, and we do not wear heels because that's crazy.
No,
because you're on your feet for 15 hours and you walk about 20,000 steps.
Yeah,
on average.
For a wedding, if you have like an Apple Watch, I hit every single ring by the end of the night, basically.
Yeah,
or
every time,
almost close.
Yeah,
and that's not me like turning on exercise. That's just me. Doing
living
things. Just me running around.
Yeah, for sure. So I think that, getting a good like plan of action together before you try to start something is super important. Like, talk to someone that has started their own business and see like, okay, so how did you do that? Get a business coach. I mean, they're out there everywhere. Find someone that's gonna, coach you.
Yeah. Help you stay motivated. Yeah. I think it's definitely hard. I think my biggest takeaway from this would be surround yourself with like-minded people. Pick the brains of people that are in the business and in the industry and are successful. And then work ethic, obviously, is huge. Staying persistent.
You're going to want to quit.
You're going to.
I literally just said last week that I want to quit. I mean, I was like, I'm going to quit. I don't want to do this anymore. Because it gets hard. And especially experience right now. Knowing how to say no to people and controlling my weekly calendar, because I get contacted so much that I'm like, yeah, I'll talk to you, or yeah, I'll get on a call with you, or yeah, I'll meet you. And then I end up having zero time for myself and my family. And it's tiring when you are traveling. We travel a ton. We have a lot of destination wedding, like out of town weddings. And so we're traveling. I'm gone a lot. And then I come back. I live out of a suitcase, I feel like sometimes. And
I'm like, where's my deodorant? Oh, it's in the bag from yesterday.
Yeah, exactly. And so I'm struggling to find my no and find like, okay, this is where I'm going to, you know, I've gotten to a place where I'm like, okay, I'm good. I need help. I need to raise the white flag. I need to be like, okay, let's do some adjusting. And so for me, what I've started doing just this week is I have a week of or a day where I'm off the grid. I call it off the grid, which means my assistant can't reach me. Julia she can always reach me, but she won't reach me about work stuff. And then I will basically defer everybody to my assistant. So if there's any questions or anything like that, so I can leave my phones, I can step away, I can do things for myself and my family without feeling guilty that I'm not answering every text message and every email and phone call.
Yeah. And I feel like you're entering your year of no's. You're like, I'm good. My plate is filled.
Yeah.
Year of no's.
Here we go.
Here we go.
No,
starting
thank you.
Which is such a good book if you haven't like read it. Such a good book. It kind of like put different perspective because I feel like depleted when I'm like coming in from out of town. I still have a bunch of work emails every day. My friends are like, I miss you. My husband's like, I miss you. And it's like, I don't understand why I can't get everything my 100%. And that's just not reality. Like it's not.
It's not. You're not going to, you have to be kind to yourself and know that you're not going to nail every single thing. Yeah. Like there's going to be a bucket. I mean, there's like a day where I'm like, oh, look at me living my best life. All my buckets are full right now. You know, my husband's happy. I spent time with him. My kids are good. I spoke to all of them. They're good. My kids are older. So, but still, I mean, my youngest is 14, so he still needs me. You know, I've gotten all the things. I got my nails done. Like I got a massage or whatever. So I'm doing like self-care. But then like the next day I'm like, okay, well, I'm back to like, you know, one bucket's empty now. And so you have to be like, you're not going to nail it every single day. You're going to be failing at something.
Yeah.
For sure. And so our personal checklist, like asking for help personally, which is really hard, I think, for women to hire help in your home, you know?
Yeah. House cleaners, babysitters.
Yeah. Because you will get so much more done if you're not worried about the, you know, toilets needing to be scrubbed. I mean, it sounds silly and you think, okay, well, I don't even like that's, but for me, I can only speak for myself. Subconsciously, if I know the bathrooms are dirty and I go into my bedroom and it's messy, I can't give 100%. Like I feel irritated and I don't know why. But I also know that empaths don't function very well in like a chaotic, messy place. Yeah. I love we have an apartment, a team apartment in Charleston because we travel there so much for weddings and it's very minimal. There's not a ton of furniture in there. We have like all the basics and it brings me so much joy.
Because it can't get cluttered.
It can't. There's no clutter. There's nothing. There's nothing hanging on the walls. It is, I mean, it's cute. It's very cute. But I was like, why do I feel so good in this apartment? It's because there's not a damn thing in there. I'm just like in there.
Yeah, you don't have any kids or dogs or anything.
Yeah.
Making it messy.
There's not even clothes hanging up in the closet. I think I have like 3 things hanging in the closet I keep in there. It's just like staging.
It's a show home. I think I keep a bathing suit and a jacket in mine.
Yeah. I mean, I really do. I mean, I love it. And so I'm trying to do that in my like Charlotte home where I'm say, okay, what can we get rid of? How can we cut things down so that it's not so chaotic? But also hiring people to do things, you know, for me, I just can't, I get this like sense of like rage when the house is messy.
Yeah. I do too. Like, I feel like I can't be at peace if my house is messy.
Yeah.
And then I get mad at my husband.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, why don't you see this? Don't you see, like, the smallest little things?
I don't think and I could be wrong, like, guys, if you're listening, like, please chime in. But I don't think clean to a guy is straightened. And then clean to me, I can say all women, clean to
It smells
me
like
is
bleach.
like, I need it to be, I need it to be a sterile environment. Like that's, my mom always taught me, like, that I was raised where your kitchen's not clean unless the floors are clean.
Yeah. Like when we walk into Airbnb when we're traveling and it smells like bleach, we're like, I don't even need to check the beds. Like this is
so clean.
Like, this is so clean.
Yeah.
And they could just like pour like bleach in the sink
sinks.
before they leave. And I'm like,
so clean, so
like,
good. Yeah.
We'll ignore that over there because it smelled like bleach. So that's not their norm.
Yeah.
We're good.
But I do wipe, like, when we stay at a lot of Airbnbs, but I will wipe the counters and stuff to see if it's like dusty. I have issues.
I always check the bed.
Yeah, we do check the bed for bed bugs or any kind of like hairs or randomness.
Other people's hair, I have a phobia of it. I don't care who you are. You could, if dog hair is one thing, but like anything else. Oh God, I was in a restaurant the other day, and I was eating a club sandwich, and it was so good. And then like in the middle of all like the things of the club was like dark long hair, and I was like, and then me being me, I like put it on the table, not even on my plate, covered with a napkin. And I just eat my French fries, and I'm done with the club. Like most of the club's still there. And then the waiter comes over and she's like, everything good? I'm like, yeah. And then my sister-in-law was like, you're here with like hair in your sandwich sitting on the table, like not even on your plate anymore, suffering. Like you can't stop thinking about it. And the waitress asked, and you're like, everything's perfect.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah. I mean, we do that as women all the time. We're like in tears because something sucks so bad. And someone's like, how are you doing? You're like, I'm fine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fine. Everything's fine.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I can't stop thinking about it, and I want to gag every time I think about it.
Yeah. Oh, like I'm weird about all things. Like I have a texture thing. Like it has to be like
A lot of phobias
I
going on in this
do.
family.
Yes.
I got them all, which is funny when your side of the family is all together. And I'm looking around, and I'm like, this is why I am the way I am. Because we're all just like, you see this? Ugh. Oh, God. We're all just like freaked out about things.
I walked into the grocery store yesterday and pumpkins are in, which I love pumpkins. Oh, yay. But there was the ones with all like the knots on them. And I literally out loud was like, oh my God. It just like came out of my body. I was like, oh my God. And another lady was standing there and she like looked at me because I was so loud. And she like started laughing. She goes, why? Why do they do this? And I'm like, I don't know. There were so many of them. So many bumps.
No,
So weird.
You.
Anyways.
No, thank you.
So we got we got off on a little tangent. But yeah, so take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Schedule time for yourself. Schedule time for your business. Know that you're going to be in balance.
Yeah. Know that you're not alone. You can find people that can help you out.
Talk to people. And if you are talking to the wrong people, you will know immediately because they will be not supporting you. And
You'll
don't share.
walk away feeling not good about yourself.
Yeah.
You know, like you can tell if it's not the right people you should be sharing your business with if you walk away feeling nasty and not like,
yeah,
I feel good. Like I feel like my fire is relit. Like I'm good.
Yeah. Just tap into how you're feeling for sure and ask for help. 100% ask for help. So that is our advice.
Yeah, that's the tea.
Yep.
You didn't drink much of your drink.
I don't like it.
Oh, I liked it.
I
feel it.
Well, because I made it. You know how I make drinks. I'm like, I even asked, I'm like, what's 2 ounces? And I'm like, no, it's good. It's good. Well, I'm excited about this podcast. This was great. And so please, if you have any comments or insights to anything that we talked about or want to share, you know, maybe you're starting out on your entrepreneur journey or starting a business and you're like, hey, like, let's, you know, I want to run some things by you guys, or can I tap into your circle? You absolutely can. You can follow us at jujulee.events/follow. And you can see where we're at. You can see what we're doing, but you can also reach out to us. I love hearing from people, especially when they're on the entrepreneur journey. And if you are in an entrepreneur marriage, I wrote a book called The Untold Story of the Entrepreneur's Wife. So you can, read that. It's just about my personal journey of being in a marriage on the entrepreneur journey, which is crazy time. So anyways, super exciting. Love it. Right. We will see you next time.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.